Hello students, so welcome back to your online business studies class, and today we are going to see the chapter 2, that is Principles of Management part 2. In this video we are going to study the Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. So before coming to those principles, we'll see the background and history of a Henry Fayol, right? So this is when we talk about principles of management. So principles of management are generally based on two concepts, right? So these two concepts are given by the Henry Fayol and F.W. Taylor. So these concepts are general management and scientific management. When we talk about general management is given by Henry Fayol, and when we talk about scientific management principles are given by F.W. Taylor. So general management principles basically are for administration, right, for the managerial level persons, right? And when we talk about scientific management deals with the shop floor level people, right, or the factory level management principles, right? So coming to the next slide, that is now we'll see is Henry Fayol, and Henry Fayol has given the general management principles. Now coming to the Henry Fayol's history and background. So Henry Fayol was born in year 1841 in Istanbul, right? And in 1860 he got his mining degree. In the same year he started working as an engineer in the mining company, and here in year 1888 he promoted as the managing director of the company. So students, it is very important to know that when he has joined the company, the mining company was running into losses and even was in a situation of insolvent, right? So when Henry Fayol applied his management principles, right? So the company became the leading company, right? Now we'll study the major contributions of Henry Fayol. So Henry Fayol is known as the father of general management, right? Father of general management. Keep in mind, whenever the question being asked, who is known as the father of general management? Henry Fayol is the answer, right? And he identified the major functions of management. So functions of management we have studied, those are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. And whereas we talk about he contributed to major functions of management, we'll look into the four functions. And those four functions are planning, organizing, directing and controlling, right? Now after that he developed the 14 principles of management, which acts as a guidelines for manager to perform the managerial activities, right? After this we'll come to the next slide. um, So these are the 14 principles of management, and the first one is division of work, the second one is authority and responsibility, third one is discipline, fourth one is unity of command, fifth one is unity of direction, sixth subordination of individual interest to general interest. So here it is subordination of individual interest to general interest, right? It has to be completed. The seventh one is remuneration, eighth one is degree of centralization, then ninth scalar chain, 10th order, 11th equity, stability of tenure of personnel, 13th initiative, and 14th is esprit de corps, right? So one by one we are going to see the principles. So in today's video we are going to cover the left side of this slide, that is we are going to cover the 7 principles, right? So first one is division of work. See students, when we talk about division of work, according to Fayol, what Fayol says, we should divide the whole work into the smaller units or the smaller tasks. Why? Because when employees are specialized and they can produce the output which are very which the output would be very effective and efficient. Why? Because these people, the work are going to be assigned as per their specialization. Yes or no? If you are building a home or you're making a home, right? So you'll appoint a carpenter, right? You'll appoint a painter, you are going to appoint the plumber, right? And these all people are different, they are specialized in their own things, right? So keep in mind, the work should be divided. If the whole work of making the home is given in one hand, so it is not going to be possible that it is going to be completed in time, either the resources are going to be waste. So it is very essential the work should be divided into the smaller units or the tasks, so that the employees become more specialized as they are, so the output can be increased, right? Now we are going to see the positive effects of this principle. So positive effects is specialization, right? And second one is improves the efficiency. And when we talk about negative effects mean the violations. If this principle is not there, if this principle is not there, then what may happen, right? So that becomes the negative effects. So that is lack of specialization, lack of efficiency, and the duplication of work, right? Now the second principle is authority and responsibility. So when we talk about authority and responsibility means that authority means the right to give orders and obtain the obedience. So manager must have the authority to give the orders, right? But they must also keep in mind, with authority the responsibility is always there, right? If authority is more than the responsibility, the power is being misused, right? And when we talk about responsibility means obligation to complete the assigned task on time. It means that if if you are responsible to do something on you are responsible, so you should complete that particular thing on on the given time period, right? But keep in mind, there should be, as the figure says, find the balance. It means that there should be the proper balance between the authority and responsibility. If there is no balance between these two terms, then the things are going to be worst, right? Because if authority is more than responsibility, then power is going to be misused, right? And when there is responsibility is more than the authority, then the person will be maybe he'll be in a position to leave the job, right? Why? Because he don't have any right to take the decisions, he don't have that much authority, right? Now we are going to see the positive effects. So when we talk about the positive effects, so the first one is no misuse of authority. The second one is quick decision making, right? The third one is timely completion of task. If someone is accountable, or if he is responsible to do something, he is going to complete the thing on a particular time period. What are the negative effects? Negative effects, again I am telling you, they are the violations. Violations means if this principle is not there, what may happen? So the second one is misuse of authority. Misuse of authority, the B point is lead to delay in decision making, right? And the third one is delay in work completion. Now, after authority and responsibility, the third principle here is the discipline. Now, when we talk about discipline means that it is the sincerity and obedience towards the organizational rules and regulations. It means that discipline must be upheld in organizations, but methods for doing so can vary, right? Discipline should be there. There are rules and regulations in every organization, in every institution, and whether they are employees or whether they are students or whether the staff, right? They should be adhere to the rules and regulations of that particular organization or the particular institutions. Now if they are not going to do so, there are still some negative points. So we are going to see the positive side of this principle. The positive side is systematic working in the organization, then improves the efficiency, then there will be a particular order, right? Then what are going to be negative effects? There is going to be chaos, confusion, disorder, right, and delay in work. Now I hope you understand the fourth principle. Sorry, the third principle. Now the fourth principle here is the unity of command. So when we talk about unity of command, states that employees should receive order from one boss or superior and should be accountable to one superior only. It means that employees should have only one direct superior. It means that from the given figure we can see that there is only one head or the one boss. It means that these all people or these all employees are accountable to him only, right? So if there are two more bosses, let's take an example. There are two bosses, the one boss A and the other one is B. So if A has given some task to the employees and boss B has given some task to the employees, so employees are going to be in a great confusion or a chaos to whom they are going to be to whom they have to be they are accountable more, right? And this is going to delay in work, and they're not going to be very efficient, right? So it means that there should be only one boss to whom they are going to report, right? Now we are going to see the positive side or the positive effects of this unity of command. The first one is there is no confusion because they have to be only accountable to the one boss. The second one is there no conflict among the superiors, right? When they know that they have to be they are accountable or they have to report to one, so there will be no conflict. The third one is improves the effectiveness, right? And what is the negative side or what are the violation of this rule is there is going to be confusion, conflict among superiors, and no discipline if this principle is not there. Have you got this point? Now we are going to come to see the fifth principle, that is unity of direction. So when we talk about unity of direction, keep in mind where we can see the unity, we can see the unity in a team or in a group work. Individual person is never going to show the unity because he is going to do the work by himself or herself, right? So unity is always represents in the team or in the group. So what is unity of direction means that according to principle it implies that there should be one head and one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. It means that teams with the same objective should be working under one direction of one manager, right? Using the one plan. So they should be having the one objective at a time or one plan at a time, and the whole team should be working on that particular plan. If they are not going to do so and they have several plans, so neither the objective is neither the individual objective and neither the organizational objective are going to be achieved. So it is very important for the leaders and to the employees that they should follow this principle, that is unity of direction. Then only they can move towards the one objective, right? And the same objective. If all are working towards the same object, then it is possible to achieve the thing in a particular time period, right? So this will ensure that action is properly coordinated, right? Now we are going to see the positive effects. So when we talk about the positive effects, it means the achievement of organizational goal. It helps in the coordination. Now what are the negative sides? That is difficulty in achieving the organizational goal, and there is lack of coordination, right? Now after seeing this, now we are going to see the sixth principle, that is subordination of individual interest to the general interest, right? It means that interest of organization must supersede the interest of the individual or employees. It means that you can see this is a single individual, right? And these are a lot of people. So it is according to this principle, according to Fayol principle, the general interest, the interest of the major people should be the priority, not the individual interest, right? So the interest of one employee should not be allowed to become more important than those of the group. This includes managers, right? So it is very important that the general interest should keep in mind. If person is focusing towards his personal interest, then nothing is going to be achieved, right? Neither the objectives, neither his personal interest. So it is very important to keep according to Fayol, to keep the general interest in mind. And these, when we talk about these people, these are the stakeholders, right? Those who have invested in the company, right? So these are the stakeholders, these are the directors, board of directors, or the employees, right? So it is very important that individual interest should keep aside for a particular time period. Now, what are the positive effects of this principle? The first is achievement of organizational goal. The second one is coordination between the individual and the organizational goal. And what are the violation if this principle is not there? That is no achievement of organizational goal, and employees will suffer in the long run. It is very sure if they are going to keep their own interest in mind, the employees are going to suffer in a long run. Now, after sixth principle, the seventh principle here is the remuneration of persons. See, remuneration, when we talk about, keep in mind students, the remuneration stands for the salary or the wages, right? So remuneration of persons, this principle, this is the seventh principle. So this principle states that employees in the organizations must be paid fairly or adequately to give them maximum satisfaction. It means that employee satisfaction depends on the fair remuneration for everyone, right? This includes financial and non-financial compensation. Let's understand this with an example. If a person working in a software engineer, if a person working in a software company as a software engineer. So let's take an example. There are 3 to 4 software companies, right? So if a person is working in any of the software company, either TCS or Infosys or Wipro, right? So it should keep in mind, the employer should keep in mind that he is paying the adequate salary or the fair salary as compared to the, as being in the same industry of IT or the software, right? Where a person being a software in TCS is getting somewhere around 50,000 per month, and in whereas in Wipro he is getting somewhere around 27,000. So it is going to be he'll be, the same person is going to affect more. It is very important. The remuneration should be fair. It should not be more. It should not be very less. Otherwise, the employees will move from your company to another company where they're getting the higher wages, right? So it should be equal. The wages should be fair enough in the same industry. Have you got this point? Now it again, this point, this principle has its positive sides and the negative sides. So what first one is, we are sorry, if this principle is not there, then what is going to be conclusion? So positive effects of this principle is, employees get motivated, devotion and commitment of employees improves. Now what are the negative, or what are, if this principle is not there, then what are the violation of this principle? It means that increase in the employees turnover. As I told you that if they are not paid fairly, they'll leave your company, they'll switch your company, and they'll move to another company, right, where they'll get the fair wages. Second one is dissatisfaction and demotivation of employees. So it is very important to keep in mind the all the allowances which other companies are paying, and what they, and how they are paying, right? So it is very important to, for a manager or for the top management, to keep these things in mind. So with this video, that is part 2, we have completed the 7 principles of management which is given by Fayol, and again the 7 principles of Fayol we'll cover in next video. And after completing the 14 principles, I'll give you the small assignment that you need to complete, right? So I hope you all are well, and thank you for now.